Hello, everyone. Welcome to another exciting installment of the Film Biz Show. My name is Marcus Mabusela. I'm with my co-pilot, Miss Juliet Kamanga, and the man with the plan, Mr. Kevin Kumano. Now, today we're going to have a very interesting conversation with a multifaceted filmmaker, an actor, writer, director, innovator, and somewhat a social activist.
Again, with the creative process, I'm not just 7 hours later, I haven't showered, I haven't eaten, but I'm doing the craft, I'm suffering for the game. I'm there. I'm like that guy. I'm slowly, my posture is changing, and now I'm walking with a crook in my back. I'm like, dude, relax.
Relax.
But enjoy what you do. So like, for example, especially with the writing and the research and the reading, I'll write for half an hour or 40 minutes, and I'll take a 10 or 15-minute break, and I'll come back to it. I remember to drink some water. I remember to walk up and down, stretch, stand in the sun for a bit, come back. You've got to give yourself that variation. Exists in one place, I believe, exists in all places. It's a microcosm of a microcosm. So I just expanded my awareness of myself.
Please subscribe, like, comment, and turn on the notification button so you are aware of our future episodes that you will love so much. He's been on our screen for years and behind the scenes. I'm talking about the one and only Mr. Anthony Oseyemi. Nice to have you here, brother.
Where's he at?
Yeah, where's he at? Where's the legend at? Good to have you
brother.
here, man.
No, good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man.
Oseyemi.
Oseyemi.
Yeah.
Yoruba is very, it's got a rhythm to it.
Yeah, no, it does.
How you speak it.
When other Nigerians hear me speak it, they frown because my rhythm is not great.
It's
better than yours.
Clearly. And funny, I've got Yoruba family members.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okafo family.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been meaning to go down there, but the kids have been going back and forth.
That's fantastic.
In the country.
That's amazing. It's so good to have that crossover, I think. Really necessary.
Yeah. Good to have you here, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah. For those who don't know of you and the work that you've done, would you mind just giving us just a basic?
Anthony Oseyemi, actor primarily, now a writer and a director, a producer for many years, even from all the way back when we were making up theatre in the UK and making multimedia shows. So we've been doing it a while, and it's just a pleasure to be a storyteller in the space. Yeah. And that's what I perceive myself as, a storyteller. Yeah.
I think for us as a team, what made us so interested in having you here is because you've been journaling your story,
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot. That's a lot of things that you've been going through, and some of the revelations that you've been getting in your journey of personal development. And we thought, man, this is something that we really would like our viewers just to be kind of exposed to,
Thanks.
But where did it all start with you in terms of being a storyteller?
Wow. So, when you're younger and you don't realize, those diaries your parents give to you to keep you quiet, and these days they aren't diaries, they're iPads. Or a mobile phone. So I found a couple, and I was just, there were so many once upon a times, and this, I didn't realize it then, but I've been writing stories from day. That's kind of how it was for me. And then I got into school, and like most, I'll say Nigerian, but even African parents from a certain, they're like, you are going to be a doctor, lawyer, an accountant. You're like, yeah, sure. Because you're like, okay. And then I discovered the arts, and I resisted for a while. I definitely resisted for a while. I did youth theatre with Lewisham Youth Theatre to kind of, supplement that desire, but stuck with the more, I would say, academic lines of choice via my mother's encouragement. And she did encourage, because she did great things to get us to where we are now. And I stuck to it for a while. And then about the 4th year of secondary comprehensive school, what is 4th year here? Is that standard?
Grade 11?
I think so. 4th year, because I was first year, second year. So 14, hitting 14, 15.
Okay.
In school then, you used to have a choice of now going into the arts, going into the arts, so music, drama, and those bits and pieces. So I stuck with sociology and biology and all that jazz. But my mates, they weren't like, let's do some music, because they thought it would be a simpler way to get out of hard work.
Yeah.
So they did that, but then they needed someone to sing a song they'd actually written. So they came to me. And that, I think, was the beginning of the fall of Rome, if you want to put it that way.
I love it.
So my mum, Sorry, my mum came to see the 4th year production, and I'm on stage singing in a velvet flared suit, and she's crying.
Sure.
And everybody thinks she's crying with pride because her child is on stage performing.
Yeah.
I know she's crying because she's like, my child is fucked. My child is fucked. He's going into the arts. There will be no money. There will be no nothing. He will just be suffering because, then it was a different kettle of fish. And I think now it's probably the same kettle of fish, but we have to be more intelligent about how we approach ourselves and our finances, which I'll definitely get into. And then even then after that, I went to A-levels. I started with 4 A-levels, physics, chemistry, biology, sociology. I was doing it. I left with 2 A-levels, bruh.
Sure.
Performing arts and theatre arts.
My goodness.
My mother's like, and then I went into the degree in performing arts. And after that, there was no running. Got an agent, got into it, started acting in the UK, came out here as part of a theatre production. We acted out here. About a decade later, came out here and was just like, I haven't left since. And then I joined your television and film industry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but what was it about South Africa that actually made you say, maybe this is where I want to...
I remember, apparently I told my, when we first landed, the first time we got here, we were in Cape Town because we were doing a performance at a place called the Gilray Scout Park, which I think is now a parking lot. But things change. And apparently I said, when we, after that 10 minutes of landing, I was like, I'm home. I don't remember actually saying this, but that's what she heard me say. And I haven't really left since.
Brilliant. It's brilliant because you definitely have, put a strong impact in the industry at home.
And it's given a lot to me.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest. When I first came here, and there was a lot of things that I needed to kind of work out, understand about myself, grow as a human being. And South Africa gave me the space to do that, accommodated me, looked after me. I met great people who I can call extended family, been loved and nurtured, and have always, endeavored to do the same in return.
But as a creative, was constantly having, different ideas. Your inspiration is, at its peak, I would say, at the moment where you're able to write, you're able to go into, produce and come up with innovative ideas. How do you handle all of this energy? And I'm sure when you were younger, it must have been a bit of a challenge with kind of managing this energy.
Yeah, I think it's something you grow into. I always think that whatever you're doing, if there's a very specific and clear truth in it, like there's an objective, there's a crystallized idea behind it, it's not too difficult. But what is challenging is keeping a good rhythm with yourself, not becoming all consumed by it, not forgetting to live life, to engage with people, to exchange, to take a shower, to eat. Because it can become that way, and you'll get told there's a certain way of doing things. You have to work out what works for you. You have to be clear on understanding how you operate, and that's a really, really important part of any success, I think, for yourself, because you have to ride your wave, not be carried by it.
I saw on your Instagram page, you were going through like a 40-day cleansing challenge.
Yeah.
And I was like, Anthony, why are you doing this, man? You can just grab some cake and some soda.
Cake and soda are great. And I still have cake and soda. Don't get it twisted. But the thing was, it was a really interesting period in my life. We were going through what we called a liver detox with a practitioner. Her name is Dale Madison Titus, Cape Town based, very good at what she does because she's spent a lot of time in life studying how natural, normal food can heal you. So one of the things I discovered on the cleanse, and this is because you have to discover it for yourself, was that after doing a certain cleanse and stopping eating certain foods and just sticking with vegetables, there were problems that I didn't want to discuss that I was suddenly able to have a discussion about with myself.
Natural, just problems in your personal life.
Yeah. And it's really weird because you don't really think about it. Like, it's food, but actually it's also part of a larger ecosystem. Food, what you eat, how you eat, affects your mood. And sometimes we eat food because it gives us comfort. Sometimes we eat food because it provides a memory of something that we're missing or that we want. And sometimes we eat food because it's been advertised to us and we're told it tastes great. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was a really interesting time because after I discovered that, I kind of really changed the way I ate. I didn't don't get me wrong, I haven't gone completely
Vegan.
If you're a vegan and you're happy, bless you. But the point is, he's serious. But the point is, there are ways for you to manage the way you eat. So, Monday to Friday, I eat a very specific way. And at the weekends, I just enjoy myself. I enjoy food, the food I want to enjoy. And then Monday to Friday, again, I come back to it. And I think it's nice to have a rhythm. Because if it's just a straight line, it's a flat line, isn't it? The heart beats, the breath, you take it in and you exhale it. Nothing is so I think that's how you have to look at the cycles in life and how you kind of apply them to yourself. It allows you room, space. It's not just like being constipated all the time. Like, no, man, just allow yourself. Today this weekend I'm gonna try that chocolate. Get in there, bro. I'm gonna have that lamb racker rib. Get in, taste it, enjoy it. The flavor is there for a reason. It's not, I mustn't do this. And then I explode and I lose my mind. And I do it all the time. Like, you gotta enjoy the moments, take them as they come.
Very good. The way, your dietary change, has that also informed how you approach your creative process?
Yes. In what way? It filters through to everything because, again, with the creative process, I'm not just 7 hours later, I haven't showered, I haven't eaten. Yeah. But I'm doing the craft. I'm suffering for the game. I'm there. I'm like that guy. And slowly my posture is changing, and now I'm walking with a crook in my back. I'm like, dude, relax. You gotta enjoy what you do. So, like, for example, especially with the writing and the research and the reading, I'll write for half an hour or 40 minutes, and I'll take a 10 or 15-minute break, and I'll come back to it. I remember to drink some water. I remember to walk up and down, stretch, stand in the sun for a bit, come back. You got to give yourself that variation. And also, it was really interesting because actually my posture, when I went for an X-ray, they went, "You've got some dark marks there. Are you having back pain problems?" I was like, "Yes." And then, literally, my posture went from this to this again because I paid attention because I was always just huddled all the time. So it just, what exists in one place, I believe, exists in all places. It's a microcosm of a microcosm. So it just expanded my awareness of myself. You know what I mean? The food knocked onto how I do my work, knocked onto how I engage with people as well. Like, relationships are really important. They can't just be transactional. They need to have meaning to them, and you need to surround yourself and talk to people that you love you, but also are going to be like, yo, what's happening? They're not going to be saying things just for the sake of saying things because they need something from you. You need honesty in those relationships, and you need to want to be there. So so when you ask, has it changed my approach to my work? Yes, it definitely has. And I can see that change. The work is accelerated. It's more refined. I'm getting more done in less time. You know what I mean? I'm not losing weeks sitting on one script or one idea. I'm able to multitask and step in and out and come back with a fresh perspective. Don't get bogged down. Enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm having fun with what I do. Because there was a period of time where I definitely thought I was the art, but I was actually really depressed and just locked myself where I lived, smoked far too much weed and just bent over a computer and thought I was there. And I didn't realize, I was like, dude, you're depressed. You're not happy. What are you not happy about? What is it that I did? I was like, definitely missed opportunities at good relationships and good friendships. But the thing is, you don't know till you know. Life is a process of learning, and we're experiential creatures, so we have to go through those moments to understand them. Nothing lands made, and it's all right when it happens. And sometimes somebody will nudge you, and you'll be like, oh yeah. And sometimes you'll nudge yourself. Or sometimes it'll be food that you stop eating and it changes the way you're thinking about something. Or just the way somebody speaks to you in the street and says, hey, what's up? It's always something, but you don't know till you know. So I think there's a level of not judging myself and not judging other people, and just understanding that for each one of us, as difficult as it's been for me and as much of an odyssey as it has been, it's the same for everyone else, whether they are filthy rich or broke down poor. It's the same for everyone.
And for you, I mean, when was that moment of actually waking it up to yourself?
I'd say it happened probably about 5 years ago. And over the last, so COVID, I think is a good mark point, because it was into 2019, 2020. And I just started to really, kind of ask those questions with the food and the diet and the journey, and just like, what's this all been about? Because you spent a good 20 years having a chicken fit. And then you're like, what was that about? Okay, unpack. And for the last 5 years, 2019 to date, has really been the change and the understanding of kind of the self more, and just being kind to myself. Because you got to love yourself. Nobody can love you unless you love you. It's really important to take a breath and say it's okay. The pressure is applied by everything and everyone else because you let it, and you're also applying that pressure. And it's really important to understand that it's your choice in the space. People treat you how you let them, and you treat yourself how you think you deserve to be treated. And sometimes you don't know, and you're going to go through that process and work it out. Remember, our parents love us. They raise us, and they do everything they can for us. And what was done to them, they do to us. It's not malicious. It's not necessarily intentional. It's just being human. You're taught something a certain way, then you teach that somebody else that same thing that way, unless somebody says to you, maybe try that. And you're like, oh. You know what I mean? And that's how it is. It's okay. It's not a train smash.
But also that person has to be open to being shown that.
Yeah.
Perhaps try a different way.
Yeah. And if they are, it gets through. And if they're not, it comes back later. And some people it doesn't. But that's also life.
Yeah.
So.
Because I feel like, especially with the other filmmakers right now, we're all kind of making bad on our heart, 28, 29, that problem today.
Yeah.
Trying to finish that script and barely writing the work. Because she's scared that if we speak for the weekend,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird, especially because some people think, yeah, you can go and
No, it does.
being like, oh, no, yeah, don't let me.
Self-denigrate, Yeah.
Yeah. No. But I'm glad that you are finding the positive in it, because it is, and it's a process. I didn't know until I knew. And now I know. I'm like, enjoy what you do. The bags under your eyes, you don't need them. You could be doing so much more. And I think it's good that we have the exchange generationally as well as creatively. That's for me anyway. Part of the kind of the project stuff is like, it's really important that we don't just go, yes, go suffer, because I did. Because it's not about, you don't need to suffer. You don't need to suffer. What you need to do is really think about what you're doing and find someone who will talk to you about it honestly and engage with you about it honestly and say, okay, these are the things you can do, because you have to discover what works for you. I know that the whole suffering and bags under your eyes and work till 3 a.m. is what we're told and what we're sold. And that's the story. So it's up to you to change the narrative.
I mean, we've had a lot of issues in our business, with regards to, mental health. A lot of suicides being committed ever since COVID has actually been crazy. I wish this knowledge that you have, or this journey that you've walked, can somehow also be institutionalized, in some way, be packaged in a way that creatives will be able to use, whenever they're going through some kind of troubles or, periods in their life where they need to just kind of pivot and make that change, then that can get them to the next level.
You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
You're doing it right now. The thing you wish for, you are making happen with these kind of conversations and making sure that people have access to it and they can hear the cast, because you're doing it, bro.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I think as a team, we've also kind of been walking. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Now, Anthony, let's talk about money, which is a very...
I ain't got none. Yes, no. Let's talk about money.
Yeah, but it's a very sensitive issue when it comes to creatives. Firstly, most creatives don't know how to value their work, and we struggle a lot with. Obviously, this is a quite an informal industry, I would say.
Artists are dying broke.
Exactly. Oh.
Motherfuckers be dead and they got no money. But yeah. Okay. Where do we start? Knowing your value, one, is very important. Understanding how contracts work is also very, very important. And then understanding that you definitely, as an artist, need to make sure that whatever you're earning, however meager it is, you have to have the discipline to each month put something aside into something that is making money for you. And you have to get that practice so that it's a muscle. It's a reflex. It's not something you struggle with, because it's going to be very important. And the other thing is, you got to think like you're a business. You're an entrepreneur. The money's not always going to come in. The jobs aren't always going to be there. And in South Africa, guys don't get residuals. So that's another a massive thing. So, and I know a lot of artists are definitely on the side hustle, which is an intelligent choice. But also, it's really important that you educate yourself so you become financially literate, because a lot of us aren't. Like, just not financially literate because you're not thinking about it. You're thinking about, I'm an actor, I'm making money, I'm on TV, I'm having fun, I'm living the life, I'm going out, I'm doing my thing. Oh, shit, I've got no money left. Rent is due, and I haven't eaten in a day, which will be a week, which might be 3 weeks.
Exactly.
Fuck. Do you know what I mean? You need to think. And then also the changing landscape. There are people with followers on Insta and influencers. And if you're an artist and you're mad at the influencer, check yourself. Because I tell you what, the influencer above you understands that they are a business.
Yeah.
They understand that, and let's not discuss production companies and producers thinking that numbers will give you a great performance on screen.
That's another conversation.
That's another conversation.
Yeah.
You could be mad about that because that's just stupid. But the influencer, influencer understands that they're a business. They understand that the amount of people they reach means access to income, means access to sponsorship, means access to a lot of other things, and growing their business. And you as an actor, a bona fide actor, need to have that conversation with yourself. I mean, for example, I'll use myself as an example because that's all I can do, because I am one of you. This September, I start an MBA, an executive MBA.
Congratulations. That is very inspirational.
And it's about, as I'm building these systems and looking to connect people and operate, that at the same time I'm studying what that means, how that's going to work, and being able to apply it in real time to what I'm actually doing, which is the important part. How do you apply it in real time? And I know, like, here you've got interesting platforms, guys. You've got Easy Equities, you've got Satrix. Even if it's 50 rands a week, guys, get into the habit of doing it, because I'm sure, you'll spend a good couple of hundred getting babalas the next day.
Sure.
So it's an attitude adjustment. You may not like me saying it, but it's an attitude adjustment. You can always have good times. They're not going to end. But what you need to do is make sure that you're secure and you're not stressed. And you're also not relying on other people to prop you up just because they're there. That ain't right. And it's not an attitude and an energy you should be carrying. It's important that you have context within yourself. And it's hard. It's not going to be easy. Discipline isn't easy. It takes time. I'm only becoming financially literate. See, I can't even say the words. Financially literate now. And I'm older than a lot of you.
Say it right.
Yeah, older. But it's been a process. Like, every month there's got to be something that goes left, because you're always going to be able to spend money. But you've got to like going to the gym. It's like going to the gym. Think about like going to the gym. Go to the gym to keep your body in shape. Put money aside to keep yourself financially in shape, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to change, and it's really important. Yeah, for me that's about it. But contracts, agencies, understanding how the business works is really important. Not just letting the business work you.
Yeah. But I mean, you being a very well-traveled individual, you've been in the continent, obviously, numerous countries, the States, the UK, and you were able to see how the different landscapes are actually, working out. And how would you compare the South African, space in terms of film and television as compared to maybe our Nigerian counterpart, the UK and the USA? How do you find this landscape? And
Okay,
yeah,
let's move up.
yeah,
So the South African film landscape in comparison to the Nigerian
yeah.
landscape. Nigerian landscape is different in the sense that they don't wait.
Mm.
They're not waiting for a grant from anybody, whereas you still have a grant-based system where you can apply and develop. They look to make the money and the partnerships in order to execute what they need. They're already thinking about how that process is connected and how it works. In terms of their understanding of the literary work, they're amongst the best in the world. Don't be fooled. Don't be confused. Production, maybe not as technically adept as the South African industry, but in terms of output, drive, desire, execution, they're there. And that's just going to keep on improving. There's no doubt about that. And it's something that South Africans and Nigerians should be looking to work together and collaborate, because the combination of the two, it's dynamite. And if you don't know that, you're never going to know. It's pure and simple. The difference between the UK, US, and South Africa, infrastructure. Institutions and bodies that are designed to underpin production, development, storytelling, timescale. Unions that are responsible for standards,
Very important.
operations, management, mode of operation. Key to their success. But that infrastructure structure is huge. There's a whole conversation we'll get into about residuals, which will probably take a lot of time and maybe offend some people, but we're not going to. But that's also built into the dominant structure of those markets, specifically in the American space and the rest of Europe.
When you talk about royalties, we had the pleasure of having a member of, what was the institution? The royalties, when we had the conversation with Shona. Yeah, Mahamata. She's from Samro, and she's the head of legal at Samro. And what's that institution she's with? Okay. But essentially, they're advocating for, sort of like looking at this proposed bill, the Copyright Amendments Bill, and how it looks. What's quick thoughts on that?
Look, human beings, we, me, you, everyone, we have a tendency to form opinions based on a lack of knowledge about what anybody's talking about. So when that bill was being pushed and put through, and people on Instagram going, don't do it, threatens your livelihood, and we all just nodded and said yes. I want to ask you all, how many of you actually researched what the bill was about, so you understood it for yourself, and had any understanding and context? Not many. And a lot of us, because some influencer got paid by somebody else, like a lobbyist, to say don't do it. And eventually it wasn't done. And there are a lot of places and spaces. And that's not anything to do with your livelihood, guys. That's everything to do with the film industry abroad and its ability to come here, shoot, and underpin its own industry and pay those residuals out to its actors and performers, which I think should be happening here because the structure's here for it. But then again, it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take organization of you yourselves as creatives. Waiting for somebody to rescue you is never going to work. You have to organize, you have to discuss, you have to share the information so that everybody understands exactly what's being discussed, and not an Instagram post that goes, "This is going to threaten your livelihoods. Span it." Why is it going to threaten your livelihoods? Why do you just take the Instagram post as it says? I mean, I do Instagram posts. I say shit. Research it. It's not the law. Like, fucking, is he talking nonsense? Does celery juice really do that? You have access to information. Don't be redundant. Don't be recursive. Like, come on, guys. We have to make that change. And those systems I'm talking about, this reason for studying the MBA is like, that's what we're looking at tackling. That's what we're looking at gathering people together and say, okay, how do we make this work?
Last one. You've been walking this journey for a couple of years now, quite a while.
I
and
appreciate the a couple of years.
Yeah, just a few, not so many.
A couple. I like the way you dropped that.
But at the end, what would you like the story to have been about? What is it all about? I find that we have so many actors and writers and practitioners, but each and every one of us have embedded in our own DNA a purpose and a route that we're going to take. And what is your story about?
My purpose, the reason I tell stories, is to get us to engage and make us understand that we can do anything. The world is yours. Don't get me wrong. There's so much madness happening, so much absolute insanity. But for everything that's going wrong, there's something going very right. Always. Because it's, like I said, the laws of nature. The only reason you know it's nighttime is because daytime exists. There's always a balance there to be found. And the reason I tell stories is to connect people so that we can see each other.
Anthony, we've had absolute pleasure having you here.
Thank you, bro.
It's really been an honor and a blessing for us. And a lot of lessons that we can take from this conversation. To just wish you well on the journey. And as you continue to gain more knowledge, please share with us and keep developing people in our communities.
Amen. That's 250K, by the way.
Oh, come on, my goodness. Julia, please get my check. Don't be fine. Honestly, man, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it.
No, it's been fun. Anytime, guys. Let's keep the conversation going. And you're doing what you said you wanted to do, by the way. You're creating access. So please keep doing what you're doing.
I should have more gratitude, and that creates more awareness. So thank you for reminding me that.
Yes, brother.